So good afternoon, everyone. Uh, my name is Nish, and first of all, I would like to thank India Autism Center, Amrit Samani Memorial Trust, Mr. Samani and the family, Mr. Shud, who invited me to come and join this amazing conference. I think it's the first in India. So thank you for amazing job and really bringing all these amazing minds under one roof. That's just amazingly powerful. Um, and along with the smart minds, I would add one more thing, that these are not just smart minds, they are passionate. Because in this world of autism, if you are not passionate, you won't be able to survive, because your smart mind, brain will get tired. But if that passion gives that energy. And that's all these amazing people. And thank you for coming and sharing your expertise to autism community in India. So we appreciate that. So my introduction is very simple. What all these amazing brains, what they do, what is their ultimate goal? Their ultimate goal is to prepare them for work. And when they are ready, we help them find them a job, meaningful job. Somebody just asked me that why jobs are important, right? No matter what type of therapy we give, what type of treatment we provide, but after 21, 22, 23, if they don't have a meaningful job, if I don't work for a few days and if I have fever, my symptoms will get worse if I don't keep myself occupied. So there is no research needed to identify the need of meaningful jobs. So that's what I do. How do I do that? I'm a true collaborator. I call this cross-industry collaboration. About 15 years of experience in the staffing industry, working and providing staffing solution, workforce solution to corporations globally, and about over 10 years of partnering with the autism community, understanding and learning. And through that process, we have combined this expertise and built some innovative technology, programs, frameworks, and more, which is I'm going to share briefly. Also, one of my passion is I always try to create scalable and sustainable models, whatever we do. Somebody asked me, Nish, why you need us to partner with you? My answer for that type of question is, if I do it myself, I'll make a small dent, maybe central western part of India or maybe New Jersey, New York, and that's what not I believe in. So how do we create scalable, sustainable models? And another very important thing which I always believe in, more holistic approach towards anything we do. So at some point I used to call this autism management system. Just imagine, because my background is technology, so I build technology, so I always use technical terminology. And how do we build more or take the holistic approach towards employment, towards anything we do, towards training, education, ultimately employment? So the way I see autism, there are three main, I don't want to box it but there are three types or levels in terms of ability and availability: mid, low, and high. We know high, they are doing amazing in somewhere in Silicon Valley or in Wall Street. Mid that's where we try to help them find job in corporate America and in India with corporations. And low is where they have ability and availability of couple of hours of work, and I just mentioned that we have this project in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are putting together a community-based hydroponic greenhouse project where these individuals can work only 2 to 3 hours in a day, 2 to 3 times in a week. So how do we create more holistic approach, holistic solution towards employment? So at Rangam, where I'm CEO, Rangam started in 1995, and our mission is employment for everyone. And our culture at Rangam is empathy drives innovation. Empathy drives innovation every single day. And my journey started in 2007. I call this circle of innovation. 2007, I was talking to a friend and said, Nish, you know, when you and me, when our kids, when they graduate, we celebrate, but the place where I'm coming from, the high school graduation, parents are worried what are they going to do next week, Monday morning, when there is no school. That's how my journey started. I said, what is it? He said, autism. I literally went on Google and Googled and say, oh, these are the challenges. That's how, and then, since then, just constantly partnering and learning and evolving of our solutions and different methods and approaches towards different challenges related to autism. So the first challenge we try to understand, in 2007, I started visiting the schools. When he asked me that this is the autism and how these children, they learn in a different way, I said, hey, can I come to your school and understand more about autism? So coming from India means it's very little knowledge of mental health, and that's where this amazing journey of learning started. Then what we did was, I said, you know what, let me leverage free labor, my kids. And it was a summertime, so I said, you know, how can we create maybe some kind of a program where we can utilize kids' imagination? So I call this kidshelpingkidslearn.org. I started the program and started working with schools. And then after a couple of years in 2014, few summer, we ran few pilot programs, and at some point, what I learned that, you know, this reinforcement and constant repetition, Dr. Grandin mentioned, it's all repetition, right? And lot of learning, 30 to 35 hours, 40 hours of training per week. And how do we leverage technology to make that learning effective without compromising the quality and without compromising the quality of the intervention? And that's when we submitted this idea in 2014. Verizon has this competition called Powerful Answer Award. So they said, you know, here, $10 million, if you have an idea which will change the world, submit your idea and we'll give you $1 million. First winner, second winner, $750, third winner, $500,000. And we submitted something, and I call this anytime, anywhere together. The child on the spectrum is one, and there is whole community working together. All this amazing smart brain utilize their research, their knowledge, their experience, expertise, and they're working with these individuals. But how do we leverage parents? One of the other things which somebody mentioned here, that how do we work with parents in a synchronized, holistic way? So just imagine when the expert is teaching something in a different way and the child is learning different way with parents. How do we make that connection? And that was the idea. So the concept was what the child is learning in the classroom, we kind of replicate the same exact using ABA methods, the same prompts and visuals, very individualized program using the touchscreen kiosk. And when the child is going through the intervention, we track the child's facial expression, and based on their reaction and their attention, we adjust the content. So that was the idea, and that we started then use that money as a seed fund, and that was kind of aha moment. And I said, you know, this is the area where we can do something or make some societal impact. And coming from the staffing industry, CEO of staffing industry, I literally spent 1 full year at Eden Institute in Princeton, New Jersey. I used to go there from 9 to 12, 3 hours every morning when we ran this for-filer program. And that was my best time of my life in terms of learning. Every day I learned just amazing experience. And then I was attending one of the conferences like this for employment. It was in San Francisco. And what I learned that there are some amazing community-based programs nationwide. And coming from the staffing industry, I said, there is no Monster or Hot Job or Naukri.com or you know, one of those portals. I said, no, this is not how the employment program works. I said, how can we do it? So I volunteered our services and technology platform to Autism Speaks, and we built this national level platform where the concept was very simple. Video-based requirement and video-based job descriptions and video-based resume. Now, video-based resume is not new for staffing industry, right? So in the world of innovation, you don't have to reinvent everything. You just plug and play, and that becomes a new innovative solution. That's exactly what we did with the Spectrum Careers. And then we started talking about this program because it was free to the autism community, because that was our commitment to Autism Speaks and the autism community as a corporate social responsibility. Then some of our customers, they started asking for more end-to-end solution. And then last, I think in 2016, we launched this program called SourceAble, where my tagline is, where we source, scale, and sustain uniquely able talent. So this is just a background. I think I took a little bit more time than I wanted to. But these are the few products we developed during these last 10 years of journey of innovation. Colors Kit, My Today, Genya, Hexo, SourceAble. We have another program called Source Vets to promote employment for people, for our veterans. So this is what we have done in US, but just to give my background and expertise, we have done very limited things in India because we have offshore team, and they've been telling me, Nish, let's do something in you, because they've been developing all this technology for the last 11 years. And so recently, about 3 years ago, we started working on some of the projects. So these are, it's not easy to read, but these are the few activities we've been doing in Gujarat. This is a very interesting project. One of the product we have developed is called Early 3 for early diagnosis. Average diagnosis age in US is about 4.5 years. Earliest you can do the diagnosis is about 18 months. There are a lot of research in pipeline where we will be able to do the diagnosis earlier. But the goal of this type of a platform or technology is to, how do we empower parents? Give this tool in hands of parents, because one of the biggest challenge we face in the diagnosis for autism is mix information from parents. Mom will say, when doctor says, can Johnny do this? Mom will say, yeah. And dad will say, no, I haven't seen it. So doctor will say, okay, come back after 3 months. Boom. So how do we, so the whole idea here is we have about 200 questions we ask, simple questions based on the child's age. This is in partnership with Dr. Lewis. Again, every project we've been doing is in partnership with someone expert like this amazing minds here. So when I meet, we talk. If there is some synergy, we put together forces. That's how we are constantly innovating. So this is a perfect example. We ask these questions. Answers are recorded in terms of audio and video, and now doctor has access to the right information and more accurate information. Then in 2017, we started Colors Academy Training Center, where we have about 18 students. So this Colors Academy is kind of a lab for our development team, where they are spending few hours every week, go there, learn first-hand experience, and they are tweaking the technology and customizing it so that it's more and more effective. Then we have partnered with some of the schools in Baroda and in Gujarat where we have access to, but would love to expand and always looking for a partner who has access to this kind of a national level resources as well as reach, which we don't have it. We are there, but would love to offer this, what we've been doing in our small little part of India, central western part of India, Gujarat. So these are the 3 schools we have been working and providing technology solution, Disha, Spandan, and they've been amazing partner. We work with their teachers. They come to Colors Academy, we go there, and we work very closely with their students. So that's about the work. Now, let's talk about what are the challenges in India based on, again, if there are some experts, I'm pretty sure there are experts who understand the challenges in India more than me, but based on my limited interaction with parents in last 10 years and conversation with my team, offshore team, these are the top 3 high-level challenges I have seen. Challenges with the education system, support system, and the employment system. In the special needs education infrastructure, early diagnosis is one of the challenge, because ultimately early diagnosis can lead into early intense intervention, and if that doesn't happen, we are not going to help the child become independent and more employable. Special needs schools, there are over 200 million schools or school-age children in India, 20 million required special needs education, less than 5% of them, they go to school. All the schools we are working with in Gujarat, they have these buses. These are all not-for-profit organizations. So that's one of the challenge. The government-supported systems are not well equipped in terms of resources, in terms of expertise. That's where the NGOs, India Autism Center like organizations, they are doing amazing job. But again, they have limited resources, limited funds. Transition programs are a huge challenge. Of course, it's a challenge in US also. So here it's a different level of intensity of that challenge. Support system for adults. So this is after they pass 18 to 20 years. Skill centers. What I just learned that there are schools called ITI, and in India, ITI, they have some amazing special needs program, but they don't have well-trained teachers, well-trained experienced teachers who understand the special needs, who understands autism. So those kind of challenges, bottom line is pretty much in terms of expertise. That's where there is a huge challenge. So I was very happy to see that India Autism Center is planning to establish the university, and there are 200 professionals every year are going to go out and help help the community. And the last is the employment system. Employment is, I have seen some sheltered employment programs where they do basic things. These are not paid jobs, but this is where the real challenge is. And I was talking to somebody, the challenge has a multiple fold. One is awareness. The society tends to stereotype candidates. The employers, when you go and talk to them for a job for individual on the spectrum or with disability, they'll say, "Bechara," there's pity, and they feel like, they are doing charity. In US, when we talk to companies like Accenture and Microsoft of this world, our first pitch is, this is not a charity. If you are looking for truly untapped, amazing talent, that's what they are. Turnover rate is very low. They are amazingly creative, depend on their ability and availability. So that's where corporations, they have started hiring individuals with more on the high functioning side. But the goal as us, as a community, is wherever corporations are asking for, let's make some placements in our staffing terminology, placements. Place people, if you create some success stories, and then widen our whole scope of roles and responsibilities, because that's what we can do. So these are the 3 steps I can think of, and this is I've been thinking for last few weeks that what is the best approach, because what we have been doing in India, US, is not going to work here. So I have come up with a little bit of different approach. And that approach is the low-hanging fruit, okay, is creating employment in the communities. Now, we in India here, the community is very close, tight community. So if we can build these small pockets of, a champion for Calcutta, India Autism Center can be a champion, and then find some corporations and local businesses. And let's do a survey. Now this is a little bit, I'm getting into just putting some thoughts. Let's do a survey and ask them, what type of repeated job do you do in your business? What kind of jobs which is more process driven? What type of jobs or activities where there is less interaction with customers or other team members, things like that. Now, based on that, as Sayantan mentioned earlier, that reverse engineering of these jobs, how do we find, once we have this type of a database, then based on the individual's ability, now we can go out and start mapping and pitching to these employers and say, hey, I have this amazing candidate. This person can do this. Would you like to offer? So that's the one first step towards start generating employment. Second step is create a pipeline for tomorrow. One of the biggest challenge we are facing in India when corporations are asking to implement this type of disability hiring or autism hiring program, we are not able to find high functioning individuals. We are not able to find individuals who can work in a corporate structure, in a more formal settings. And the reason, again, this is my personal belief, that the reason is the education system is not well equipped, where we are not able to take them all the way to the higher education, to ultimately college level education. And corporations in US, they are looking for these individuals because these are the opportunities for them to, for innovation in other areas. So I think and then of course, how do we change this whole average diagnosis age? Through awareness, that's the first step. And second step is, how do we leverage technology? How do we leverage some of the experts I heard, they are attending. They have this amazing knowledge, but the key is scalability and repeatability. How do we build something so that it's repeatable? And we don't have to depend on 1 or 2 experts. Because in US also, for screening, there is a 6-month waiting. So it's not new. It's the same thing in US also. And that's what my pitch to Dr. Michael Lewis was, that why not empower parents so we cannot do the diagnosis. we can at least just give them the early indication so that they take it seriously. That's all, and that's we can do that. And then, of course, the better special education, more qualified teachers, and I think some of the things which we have already discussed, low teacher to student ratio. And a lot of these things are the same challenges in US also. It's same here, maybe the intensity and the level of seriousness differs. And the last one is, once we have this awareness in the society, where I will share one example. I was talking to a parent who has a child on the spectrum and attending Colors Academy, and is I think 21 or 22-year-old. And he was able to find a job in a grocery store. And so when the mother was talking to the neighbor, neighbor mentioned that, oh, you know, बेचारा अभी ये जरूरत पड़ गई, ये बच्चे से काम करवाएंगे, sorry for local language, but this is how it basically it says, you know, mother was like, now is it really that bad timing for you guys that you are making your son work? So it is, that's how the society is. So I think that's a change in that mindset and awareness. That is must. And once we do that, once we have some qualified candidates who can be employed in a corporate environment, that's where corporations will be open. You know why? Because every one of us, this is something which I have learned in last 5 years. Wherever I have gone and pitched about the employment for people on the spectrum or people with disability, I will find at least one person in that meeting who has a son or a daughter or a brother or a sister or a nephew or niece or nephew. Because every one of us are connected. So everyone is interested in helping, in not helping is not right word, is giving an opportunity to individual with disability, people on the spectrum. They want to do it. They don't know how to do it. So the key is, if we can build a framework, if we can help these corporations manage their risk, so if there is any concern or challenge, whom to talk to, how to handle it, if we can help them, and we have done that. With SourceAble, we have done that, and that's what corporations are really appreciating it, because when something happens, it's not their problem, we are there. And we as a staffing company, we know, because we face those kind of challenges. These are kind of different challenges. So if we can do that, that can be win-win. And this is just, I just prepared this on my way in my flight. The benefit of being second, okay? We are fortunate and not fortunate both, but fortunate in terms of there are some amazing readily available research out there. We just need to adopt those best practices. We just have to adopt those best programs and implement it. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. So we are really, really, I believe, fortunate that there are some amazing developed countries, US, Canada, and UK, in my opinion. They have some best programs and experts. And how do we leverage those experts and those expertise and bring them here? How do we, and another perfect example, we have people, experts from all over the world, because the way I see today, the world is truly, it's a global, is a boundaryless world, right? There is a, right from here, I'm going straight to Chicago and then going. It's just amazing how the technology, when I'm traveling, I'm always talking to my folks on WebEx and LinkedIn and emails. Communication has become amazingly powerful. How do we leverage that and make this connection to the outside world and these amazing experts and make it happen? It's a perfect timing. And in US, I have a tagline called "The time is now." For India, my slogan is, "It's time." It's time for action. For you, as I'm saying, time is now because the world is changing. The corporations have a lot more open mind, and they are open to hire individuals with autism. There are some great benefits. For us, truly, it's time to take action. 0.00. Thank you.